Go, Hawkie. Take it away, Hawk.
Hello. Hello. First thing we need to do is toast the bridesmaids, so if those 4 girls can stand up, please. Amy, Ro, Anna, Ali. Good to see you there. They look hot, the girls. Let's drink one for them. Okay, the other thing, it became apparent on Thursday night that there was going to be more than 50% of the crowd would be Indian. To me, that means less than 50% is Jewish. I'm outnumbered up here, though. In numbers, not size. I just thought I'd get a little throw to our little friend Mark Stein here. He couldn't pull himself out of bed this morning, but here he is. And to me, he puts the horror in Thora.
Love you.
I actually didn't participate in the dancing earlier because I prefer to do the horror at the end of the night. Can't tell which percentage of the crowd is laughing there. I noticed Colby said that it was awesome getting to know George the last 3 days. Well, Colby, we've known him for 35 years, so we have no comment. Right, now with the speech. We first met Schiff when we were about 5 years old. From early on, it was very clear that Schiff was a numbers man, as in number 1 in the 4th. Stein's actually going to give me who won the second at Wentworth Park later. We've got to whisper it to Schiff on the way through, but I wasn't supposed to say that. He was also a bit of a bully. As previously established at other weddings, Baden Fisher was the one who most looked like a girl and in turn became Schiff's number 1 target. But Schiff's bullying wasn't just confined to the classroom. Hawk!
My first memory of Schiff was when we were 9 years old, and I witnessed him taking my goldfish out of its bowl and stomping it to death.
Schiff!
It even had gold in its name.
But going forward, it was clear Mike was a very intelligent, streetwise guy. Maybe too smart for his own good. Schiff put the barmy into bar mitzvah. With his first windfall, the brave wolf of Knox Street launched into the stock market, only to lose the lot in 6 months.
Burnt from the exchange, Schiff focused his energies on women, horse racing in no particular order. He was always fond of me because I think he thought I was a jockey.
Stand up, mate. You guys all see him from at the back?
It's funny because the first girl that Schiff kissed looked a bit like a jockey, but was a dead set ringer for the wrestler Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Funnily enough, his wrestling partner was Brutus the Barber Beefcake, who I always thought looked like George. George, that was the bit Stein was too scared to say. You get it. And Barber. Moving on. The HSC was next, as previously mentioned, and strangely Schiff was exonerated due to glandular fever. Nobody believed him because it's also known as the kissing disease, and we thought that he'd retired from that after his experience with the hammer. Greg the Hammer Valentine, Google it. After school, Schiff breezed through uni. Colby. Schiff breezed through uni. When he turned up, that was. And pretty soon he packed his bags and headed to London. London and Schiff were a perfect match. He once called me and told me he just had this perfect haircut and I love it. And I said, what'd you get? And he goes, oh, it's hard to explain, mate. It's just, London wild style. It ended up being like orange curls, sort of like Shirley Temple. An undercut.
Speaking of London wild style, it was good to see Schiff in London and its bullying ways have subsided, which was perhaps due to his occasional encounters with men of the transgender persuasion. One night, a few of us noticed Schiff dancing and groping with a rather tall and large-handed lady. A few moments later, this lady wrote something on a pack of matches, handed it to Schiff, gave him a rather long and wet kiss. Schiff came over to us, rather excited to brag about his spoils. Apart from her large proportions, and feet and Adam's apple, the dead giveaway was that not all was it seemed was when we looked at the box of matches and the name was Heaven.
After London, Schiff got a job in Amsterdam with Optiva. He took me on a tour which finished up at a place which he called Squash City. Not only was Squash City a gay sauna, we also had to go in there butt naked. As you can imagine, I was pretty rattled and forgot to take a towel in, and I burned my private part.
It was like 1% burnage. Foreskin. 4%. He finally returned home with aspirations of staying retired and being a part-time DJ. It was a combo of these things which led Schiff to the dance floor of Moulin Rouge.
For those of you who don't know Moulin Rouge, it's a pumping little nightclub sandwiched between the Love Machine and McDonald's in King's Cross. It's not Romeo and Juliet, but it's a love story nonetheless. When they first met, Annika was working there as a waitress and a door bitch. Rumour has it she would ply Michael with alcohol and let him in for free. It's believed she didn't treat any of the other VIPs in that manner.
Annika. You're all supposed to clap now. Jesus Christ, I thought you were asleep then. I at least counted on 53% of claps. What's happening in the back corner over there? Huh? Can we get some shots to the back corner over there, please? You'll know which ones. Okay, Annika, for 10 years, we've watched you try and make Schiff a better person. All to no avail. However, in that time, we've watched you grow from a 20-year-old girl to a successful, attractive, stylish, intelligent, creative, entertaining, well-rounded, stunning young lady. I told you guys that would save us.
Seriously though, Annika. It's been great knowing you these last 10 years, and despite what Don said, Schiff is a much better person for having you in his life. In saying that, you do have a long way to go.
Schiff, mate, since you've been back, you've dabbled in DJing, socialising, professional punting, professional poker playing, model scouting, and of course part-time waitressing and a full-time soup eater at the 21. So you're on the right track for a happy future. And Annika, you've got yourself a great house husband.
Hurts me this time, this part of the speech. But guys, all jokes aside, we're only here today because we love you both. Seriously. It's been a great couple of days, and the whole setup is perfect. And on behalf of everybody here, we wanted to say thank you.
So if Schiff and Annika could be upstanding, please. Just so you can all see them. We'd all like you to raise your glasses and toast Mr. and Mrs. Schiffer.
Mr. and Mrs. Cheers.
Thank you.
Well done, guys.
Fantastic.